This is Kevin Zhang, and I will be talking about how I implemented a very simple web messenger for my FSE class, that's Foundations of Software Engineering. Okay, so let's talk about the technology that I used. So for the front end, I used the typical JavaScript, CSS, HTML stack, and then I used the Jade template to template everything. So this is useful for more complex applications. For this one, the typical HTML stack would have done fine. For styling, I use my own custom CSS sheets as well as Bootstrap for some of the buttons. And for the backend to store our messages and our timestamp and who typed what message, I use SQLite. So this is a pretty lightweight database that I think will do fine for a very simple chat messenger prototype. For real-time messaging, I use Socket.io, which makes my life a lot easier for handling real-time messaging. For the backend logic, I use Node.js, and then on top of it, I have Express. So let's look at the code. Let's make it a bit smaller. So on top, I have the Node message packages that I need. So notable ones would be Express, right? We need the Express package for our server. We also have Socket.io for the messaging. We have the file system to access the database. We also have Jade to render our Jade templates. And we also have a moment for our timestamps. It makes life a little bit easier to get time in the format that we need. So this is basically allowing us to render the Jade sheets, cell sheets. And then this allows us to handle data. Okay, so right here I set up the database. So basically, if the database doesn't exist, the database file, I create a table with 3 columns. So basically the message itself, the username, and also the timestamp. And I also have a flag up here, which I'm going to set it to false for now. So I also have a flag to basically clear the data for administrative purposes. Down here we have the different routes. So we have the route to get to the login page, which is right here, as well as the route for the chat room, and also the CSS files that we serve. Over here we have the Socket.io code, which basically allows us to attach events. So when a user logs on, it queries the database and selects all archived messages from the database. And on a chat message from a new message, so this is the chat message event, I emit the same message along with the timestamp according to the server to all logged in connected users. And over here we have the exit handler, which closes the database and handles some errors. Okay, so this is the main HTML file that I worked with, and these are the Jade files that they turn into. And of course, this is the style sheets for the different forms, the backgrounds, etc. Okay, let's go ahead and run it. So we're gonna go to node index.js. Okay, let's start with Chrome. So let's log in. I am gonna log in as Kevin. So I'm signed in as Kevin right now, and let's do some messaging. Let's do hello world. So it's gonna say I said hello world at this time. Now let's log into Firefox as well, or let's use Firefox to see if we can get the messages. So I'm gonna log in as Bob. So now it's able to retrieve the message from the database, and then as Bob, I will write yo hello world as well. So that's going to show up, and hopefully we'll see that showing up on our Chrome side, which it does. So we also have the ability to log out. This clears the cookie. So the next time that we sign in as, let's say, Ted, I will be messaging as Ted. hello, I'm Ted. So all this is, of course, stored in the database. Okay, so this is it for the most part. Describing, or a short video describing the way that I'm implementing my chat messenger. Thanks.